Happy Friday, America, and thanks again for joining us right here on the Discussion Combustion Production YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Badstone. It is the end of September, the final episode of this month. We're on to the spooky season. Hope everyone is safe from Hurricane Helene. That thing has made landfall down there in Florida, working its way up through the Central Coast. Hopefully everyone is safe from that. We're going to jump into this thing. Let's have a little bit of fun. I'm, of course, joined by my man across the table, Arthur. Might as well be an artifact raw.
Here we go, baby. Let's bring it in on a happy Friday. We were just watching some wrestling entertainment documentaries inspiring the intro. We got some good stuff on this episode.
We got some today in history. Art, it looks like you dug way in the vault here. What do we got?
You know, I kind of wanted to highlight some areas where Mother Nature showed humanity who really is boss. So I'm starting it off with a 1290 earthquake in the Gulf of Chihli. It's the Sohai Sea near China. So that's like the north east in between like where the Koreas are and China. There's like a little sea up in there. And so that's where it is. I had to look that up on a map. It reportedly killed 100,000 people back in 1290.
Damn.
So
do some digging on that one.
It was interesting though. I did some extra research on it, and some of the death tolls were saying like 7,500 to 100,000. So who knows exactly the kill count on that, but you know, definitely a major earthquake. That's Mother Nature for you, baby. Moving into an area where humans helped extinct an animal. In 1601, Dutch Moluccan fleet of the 5th expedition under the command of Wolfert Harmensz, they land in the Mauritius, suffering from scurvy, and while they were there, they hunted and documented the dodo. And so I was like, when did the dodo go extinct? Like, how long after we discovered them were they no longer seen? And it was roughly 90 years where the dodo was extinct by 1674 to 1690.
Damn, so from the time of discovery to the time of extinction, they only made it about 90 years max.
Yeah, maybe 100. Maybe 100. So not too long, unfortunately, for them. 1822, French scholar Jean-Francois Champollion.
Well, you really made it difficult this week on yourself, didn't you?
He announces he deciphered Egyptian hieroglyphics using the Rosetta Stone. And so I was like, dude, what is this Rosetta Stone? Like, what's up with this thing? And so I started looking into it, and this stone is inscribed with the same text as 3 writing systems: Greek, demotic, and hieroglyphic.
Interesting.
So at one point in history, 3 different cultures came together and basically used the Rosetta Stone and to translate each. So that's really cool. I didn't really realize all that. And that's, I guess, why, like, the dictionary, the Rosetta Stone?
I thought Rosetta Stone was like a way to learn other languages.
No, it was actually a literal stone that they carved 3 different languages into.
Is that why they still refer to it as, like, Rosetta Stone is foreign languages or just other languages around the world?
Well, they probably reference the actual Rosetta Stone, which had the 3 different languages on it. And that's how they were able to decipher. I can't speak right now.
Bicepa.
Decipher? No.
Decipher.
Decipher. Thank you.
Yes, decipher.
Decipher.
Gotcha. The
hieroglyphics of the Egyptians. It's okay with teamwork. It's dream work, and when you fumble, you just pick the ball up and keep going. So, 1908, Henry Ford's first Model T automobile leaves the Paquette plant in Detroit, Michigan for the first time.
As most people know, I am a huge Ford fan.
Yes.
Henry Ford tattoo on my right arm.
He got it tatted, and a beautiful woman within that truck body, a baby. And then I had to go ahead and put this one in here because it's kind of reminiscent of what's happening right now with the Diddy, Mr. Puffy. So back in 2021, recent history, R&B artist R. Kelly is convicted on 9 accounts of racketeering and sex trafficking after a 6-week trial in New York. Wouldn't be surprised if Diddy gets convicted as well. I mean, he's arrested but not convicted. How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, he's awaiting trial, of course.
Okay.
I don't know if they gave him bond. If they did, it's probably, I mean, the man is worth a lot of money. He probably could post bond, but I don't think they're going to allow it. He's just got too much riding on it. So interesting that, what was that, 3 years ago, R. Kelly was found on this shit. We know he was into some goofy stuff. P. Diddy's going to have his day in court, and I just hope he makes it there, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Everything that we do eventually comes to light. Everything that we do in this life, we have to pay the price, and that's the way it goes. That's today in history.
That's a good rundown of history, a little bit of everything there. All right, we're keeping it moving to an article I found. It's kind of been in the talk. I saw a couple other shows pick this up this week. I threw it out in our group chat, and our buddies, they didn't find it that interesting, so hopefully America does. So a study came out that men's brains have been shown to shrink every day by 8 p.m.
But not women.
No, women were in this study, but they found a little bit more consistency amongst their hormone levels, their cortisol levels, and a lot of other things. I would encourage folks to read this article. It's long. There's a lot of jargon in it that I'm not going to be able to regurgitate. But what we did learn is that there was a 26-year-old participant, and basically what they did is they put him under observation for 30 consecutive days, testing at 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. of every day, doing blood work, brain scans, a lot of different things, and they were able to determine that there is a 70% decrease from morning to night within the steroid production in the brain for men. So our testosterone levels, even some estrogen, which men do have, low doses of, cortisol, things like that, were showing significant changes from morning to night. And so it got me thinking, can you relate to that at all? Because I was kind of thinking, like, some of my best work I feel like probably does come afternoon. Not necessarily at 8 p.m., but I've had plenty of productive times past 8 p.m.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't, just because it shrinks and levels change, I don't think that means that
when
they're
it's
dumbing
one
it down.
dude, it's one dude.
That did this test.
Yeah, so like one guy, like I can't really get behind it that much. Even when they have a test group of like a couple thousand people, like that's in the big picture not that many people.
Right.
But at least it's better than one.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting, and I'm sure there's a lot of variation to this.
Yep.
But I'm sure there's a lot of consistency too to this. So I don't know. By like 8 p.m. in the evening, I'm going to have to be more cognitive of that in the weeks to come and be like, okay, do I feel like my brain's shutting off a little bit? But it's like sleep time anyway, so...
Yeah.
Right?
Well, because then, there's people that are on opposite schedules. Folks that work overnight. People that maybe go to work at 9 or 10 p.m. and sleep, through the day. Does it show reverse results there, or is it truly like on this clockwork thing?
Is it circadian rhythm based, or is it based off of what sleep times you've created for yourself?
Because that would have to be, you can't sit here across the board and say that every man at 8 p.m., if he runs on an opposite schedule, right? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the details of it, but it's interesting. It's got people talking about it.
Well, was this guy like, jerking off like 6 times a day, and that's why his testosterone levels completely dropped? Or,
I've also heard,
if you're letting it go, does that spike your testosterone levels because like your body needs to produce more?
I've heard both sides of that argument. That's a good question, because I've heard that excessive masturbation can lead to increased hormone production, which would make sense, right? Because you're activating those areas.
You're using it, and you need to keep using it.
So you're keeping everything going.
And then if you're not using it, then you lose it.
Yeah, but then there's the semen retention argument as well, right? That also increases brain function, ferocity.
Like fighters
do semen retention.
Yeah, like what is that?
That's kind of a whole deep dive into another topic, but it was an interesting read. I would encourage folks to take a look, and if anyone has any feedback on some of their personal experiences, like I'm going to start monitoring a little bit.
Yeah.
Now that I'm not drinking, it's probably better. Right,
yeah.
Because clearer view on what's going on. I mean, 8 p.m. I was drunk, so
you wouldn't be able to tell anyway.
Wouldn't be able to tell.
All the hormones were fucked.
They were fucked, and cortisol levels are through the roof. So, pretty interesting read. I would encourage folks to take a gander at it, and let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I like stuff like this, especially when it's just interesting enough to, and then you start talking about all this other kind of stuff. And that's a great article. I really like that.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with some good news here for the next one.
All right.
I kind of like throwing these in. So another high schooler performs a wonderful act in North Carolina. So this happened in Columbus County, and Kenji, a.k.a. Flash Bowen, is a baseball and football player for his high school. There was some flooding out there, and the story goes that he was driving down this road. He came to a flooded section. He could tell that like it was too deep. It was moving too fast to where he wasn't going to do it. And then as he's kind of turning around, another car is like going in there, this truck. And he flashes the lights at the truck. They don't stop. They keep driving. They go into the flooded waters. It's heavy. It's pushing. It pushes the truck into like this ditch where the water can get deeper and stuff. And, this guy Kenji was acting on his 5-second intuition rule. He went to go help these people out. So he gets out of his vehicle, starts wading in this water to go to the truck. He gets to the truck, finds a guy, his wife or girlfriend or something, and their dog, right? And the people in the vehicle, they're trying to open up the car door, but it's partially submerged.
Wow.
So they can't open it because the water pressure that's like pushing up against it too much. So they end up rolling down the window. He helps pull these people out, helps walk them back, and then he goes back and gets the dog himself.
Good man.
Right? So just a heroic act by a high school student that's also, a sports guy, so definitely athletic, but always like to highlight some good news, good stories of people helping people.
Yeah, I like stuff like this, and I like the fact that his instinct was to jump in and help rather than pull out their phone and start filming. We see so much footage on social media and all these things that are happening. People aren't doing well. Someone just drove into a store. Someone's on the ground, and people's instinct is just to start filming it rather than to go jump in and try to help.
Yeah, and I forget the definition or the word for this, but there is a definition to where something bad is happening. A crowd of people is witnessing it, but no one is acting upon it until
one person
acts upon it, and then all of a sudden, like, this inspiration and will to help fills the entire crowd.
It's interesting.
So there is a definition for that, and I forget what it was, but if you're ever in that situation, think about it now, because you have to build up the courage before it even happens. If something happens, I'm going to do this. But once it actually happens,
most people clam up.
Do you do it? So hopefully you do, and maybe you'll inspire other people to help in that bad situation.
Well, I think these stories are good reminders of doing the right thing, jumping and trying to help. I'm surprised they were able to get the window down because, if it's an electrical thing, you're done. I mean, once that goes under, those power windows they're done, and that's why they make those tools that you can break out the window or whatever, which I think we did an article on that a couple weeks ago. Remember that vehicle that broke down and the guy showed up and broke out the window?
Oh, yeah.
That was on fire or whatever.
He walked up all calm, throwing his cigarettes to the ground.
Like, bam, let's get this guy out of here.
That was pretty cool. That was a cool video.
That was cool, and that was also a good rescue story. So
it was.
Good stuff there, and just a good reminder that if danger happens, jump in and give a hand if you can.
Kenji Flash Bowen, solid lad.
That's
you
a cool
made
name.
the show this week, my brother.
Yeah, he gets the hero shout-out of the week. All right, we're going to keep moving to my random records. David Rush is still doing things, by the way. He just attempted to throw chopsticks at a board, something like that. He broke that record. It made the show, but not really.
He got to keep going.
He's going to keep going. David Rush will forever be a staple of his program. Now, if you like cheesecake, which it's not my favorite thing, I'll eat a slice here and there.
I mean, okay, so this isn't the Would You Rather this week, but cheesecake or a brownies ice cream sundae, which one you choosing?
Oh, man, I got to go with the ice cream.
You going with that brownie ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, too.
It's a tough matchup, though.
I mean, the cheesecake could be really, really good, though.
So rich.
Well,
Every time I eat cheesecake, I'm just like, oh, it's a gut bomb.
Yeah, I might pass out
Cream
on that.
cheese, though, treats me funny. I got a dairy thing, maybe. But in any case, the annual Cream Cheese Festival, which I didn't even know was a thing, makes sense, I guess. There's a festival for everything. Down there in Lowville, New York, they had a record-breaking attempt, okay? This thing was 15,008 pounds.
What?
Cheesecake. 15. I mean, you got to click.
15,000?
Yes, you got to click the link down below and look at the size of this thing. I mean, it's ridiculously massive.
Dude, that's almost half of a full truckload worth of weight.
Of cheesecake. Think about how much cream cheese that is. It broke the previous record that was set over somewhere else in Russia, I believe, at 9,347 pounds was the previous record to beat. They smoked it by an additional 5,000 pounds of cheesecake. Just incredible. You got to see this thing. Go down and take a look at that photo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go take a look at these show notes after this. But still, we've asked this question on this program before. Who's eating this?
Well,
where is this massive world record breaking cheesecake getting consumed?
That's a good question. And how many slices?
Yeah.
With 15,000 pounds? Because you figure a normal cheesecake is probably what? Pound and a half, 2 pounds?
Yeah, so that's like 8 slices.
8 slices, 8 people could eat on that.
So we would have to times
8 by basically 15.
Yeah.
1,000.
That's how many slices?
That's a lot.
You're getting out of this.
It's like 150,000 slices.
I wonder if it was good.
Maybe 125 or something. But
I wonder if the flavor was even good.
It was probably just basic cheesecake, like the most basic, just plain, whatever the hell flavor that is, just cheesecake with the crumble on it.
What you do is you eat that with the Chernobyl fucking atomic vodka.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that, yeah. With the vodka. That'll really fucking get your motor running.
No, that's a good one. I love the random records.
Yes.
And I just wonder where this stuff is getting consumed. That's really what I'm
That's a good
about.
question. But, yeah, take a look at it. It's pretty wild and just fun stuff in the random records. All right, we're moving on, Art, to the Would You Rather. Before, I haven't even read it yet.
Okay.
I see it on here. I'm not reading it. We got to go back to last week, of course. We asked the viewers about barnyard animals. Remember?
That was a good one. No, you
pretty
came
good.
up with that. That was a good one.
So in the would you rather scenario was, would you rather have the barn animals sleep with you in your home? You know, you got chickens on the bed, goats.
Get them out of here.
Or are you sleeping in the barn with the animals? I was surprised which way America went with
bunking
this.
in the barn, baby.
75% of America is bringing them indoors.
That's gross. Come on, America.
Yeah.
Come on,
You and I are
America.
sleeping out in the bunkhouse, apparently.
Yeah, my custom
It sounds
bunkhouse
fun.
in the barn.
It sounds fun. I mean, you're going to smell, though. You're going to be that guy that always smells like, like a rancher.
You know, you smell like hay. You smell like shit.
You're gonna smell like shit.
That's earth.
That's
Probably smell like marijuana as well. That's earth.
we got to rep the farmers, man.
You know?
The barnyard animals. So that was last week. Thank you, America, for chiming in.
Yes.
75% of you bringing your animals indoors.
That's crazy.
It's pretty wild. What do we got this
you
week?
must have big houses, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I ain't bringing no cows in.
No, me neither. So this one's a pamper fest, okay? This one's for you self-care people out there who want to pamper yourself, but you have to make a decision.
Oh, God.
So for the rest of you get one of these for the rest of your life, and you can never do the other one ever again.
I already don't. I just read it. I don't like it.
All right. So are you going to get pedicures once a month for life? They're free. You get your feet taken care of. Or are you getting your manicures once a month for life? They're free. You can only pick one, though. So if you pick pedicures, you can't do your hands for the rest of your life. You pick manicures, you can't do your feet for the rest of your life.
I mean, I feel like this is catered more to our female audience. And I'm going to say that because I, at 35 years old, have never had a mani-pedi ever. Not once.
Me neither.
Okay, so that makes two of us.
So that's why this is a tough would you rather.
Okay.
Because really, I don't want to do either of these.
I don't want to do either. I'm not interested in either. I'm pretty ticklish. So
Okay.
my feet are going to be a problem with that. And I don't really.
How ticklish are you?
I mean,
like on a sensitivity scale of 0 to 10, like 10 being the most sensitive, where would you rate your ticklish?
I mean, there's like my normal tickly parts are not as ticklish as you would think. Like, armpits or whatever when you're tickled as a kid.
Part?
I don't know. I feel like that's where everyone tickled as kids.
Yeah.
That one doesn't get me, but like my feet, so I can't do massages, professional massages.
Like even if they're getting in there?
Yeah, I just
it tickles.
Like it tickles to the point where it hurts.
You get uncomfortable.
Okay. So I think on that, I'm gonna have to throw that out. Pedicures are out. My hands are not. They're not ticklish.
Yeah.
I got big man hands.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with the manicure on this
manicure.
one. And I'm not a big fan of guys that paint their nails. If you want to do that,
you don't have to paint it.
Okay.
It's like just the cleaning and like the maintaining.
All right, then manicures all day.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I don't have to
paint
get
nails.
the nail polish.
No, on either.
Because if I was gonna do that, I was gonna go red, white, blue.
Yeah.
For America, baby.
Okay, that's cool. No, but you don't have to.
All right, so manicures 100%.
Polishing.
Take care of them. Like these man hands.
Just get the cuticles and stuff. They just clean it up.
Look at these man hands. All right.
They just clean it up.
Clean them up.
They just clean it up.
What are you doing the same?
I haven't ever done either. I think I'm going feet on this.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get like the feet massage and like
that doesn't surprise me.
And like get the feet. I mean, with all the walking I'm doing and all this other stuff.
Your feet should be good with all that walking though. It rubs a lot of that dead skin off.
I mean, I feel like I got nice feet.
You've gone on record to say you could do a foot fetish page if you shaved your toe hair and painted your toes.
I did say that. Like, I feel like I have pretty feet. So if I get these petties done, then all of a sudden, like, I'm selling man feet on whatever.
I bet you there's a huge audience for it.
You think there's?
Yes.
Like they want men feet pics?
Absolutely.
It can't be.
You don't think there's a lot of gay men and even straight men?
I feel like there's an audience there, but not as big.
Women.
Not as big as the women feet audience.
Not as big, but there's still that small piece of the pie.
Huh.
There's money to be made there.
And honestly, dude, no, don't shave the toes. You keep them curly joes. My toe hair is so long that it can curl.
I don't want to see that.
But maybe somebody wants to see
I don't
that.
Want to see that
that really masculine stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a masculine big toe.
So we're going to show up your feet. We're showing up my man hands with these mani-pedis on this would you rather.
I'm going pedis. You're going manicures.
I am.
Listeners,
didn't think I would go that way.
What are you going for the rest of your life? Only manicures or only pedicures for the rest of your life? Let us know down in the comments or on X.
It's an interesting would you rather choice there, Art. And we're going to keep it moving to cocaine.
Okay.
So this is just crazy stuff. I can't believe how much cocaine keeps showing up in weird places, right? I mean, it's expected in Miami, come up on a boat, whatever.
Okay.
So 7 million pounds worth of cocaine. So when you do the conversion right there, the pound is, I think, a little bit stronger than the dollar. So it just, anytime I'm watching the European programs and they say, 100,000 pounds, in my mind, I just convert it to dollars. So let's just say $7 million worth of cocaine because I don't know what the conversion is. Was found in crates of bananas.
Okay.
That came into a discount supermarket chain in Germany. So 210 pounds is what it equated to. That's a lot of cocaine.
That is.
A lot of cocaine. 210 pounds of cocaine was stashed inside of these banana crates. Just incredible. I mean, at a grocery market, these things are just coming. First of all, whoever's in charge of the logistics of this cocaine distribution failed horribly. Mm-hmm. Like, the idea of getting it in the bananas makes sense.
I mean, they got it all the way to Germany.
They made it to Germany, but, like, now it's in grocery distribution. Like, somewhere along the line, somebody didn't offload it.
Yeah, someone got the wrong, and, like, somebody's getting killed over this.
Oh, that might...
I mean, someone's getting unalived. Jeffrey Epstein. Is all that too much? Is that too much?
Somebody's head's probably going to roll for this.
YouTube, I'm sorry if that was too much.
It's possible scenarios. Nothing's necessarily fact-based. But I would assume that whoever was in charge of sending this amount over there is not happy. Because not only did they seize the operation, now they probably have a backlink to where it came from. They're going to figure out where those bananas tracked back to. This probably just blew up their whole operation, but I just can't believe it literally made it into the grocery chains. These guys are getting ready to stock bananas, and they're like, what is this?
Dude, so let's say that you used to work in a grocery store, you used to stock stuff. If you came across that, would you call it in?
I would have to. I mean, what am I going to...
Would you take some of it for yourself?
No, I don't think I would. Because
back in the day, though.
I wouldn't know what it is.
We're talking about Kevin before.
I still wouldn't.
Yeah,
because
I would have put some in my pocket.
You don't know what it is. It could have been fentanyl. It could have been coke. Could have been heroin.
I guess it's not labeled
because it's all duct taped up and shit.
Well, you just you bring some home and like you could buy test kits at a Walgreens.
You could. I mean, I just don't think I would have done that. If I found the weirdest thing I ever found in the grocery biz was I was stocking some Brazil nuts because I used to service like bulk foods, Mm-hmm. And there was a praying mantis that hopped out of it.
Oh.
So I've seen that. I have seen some spiders and bananas over the years, not tarantulas or anything wild. Or I guess maybe it was a tarantula. I don't know. I've mostly just seen critters on the produce, on some of the nuts that come in. That's the craziest I ever saw in my 20 years in that business.
Yep. All I got to say is, I spent a lot of years of my life pursuing substances and abusing things. And, there were some good times had there, but in the long run, it wasn't worth it. And just like we were saying earlier in the program, everything catches up with you. Don't do drugs. Stay sober. Stay coherent. It's definitely a better life. Chase health. Eat the banana, not the cocaine in the banana packaging.
That is a great PSA for sure. Stay off the drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't drink. Stay tightened up.
It can be fun, but it's not that cool. It's not that cool.
Take it from us.
It was cool, but it's not cool anymore.
Have your fun with it. Get it out of your system quick. Tighten up.
Yeah, late teens, early 20s. You should be off this stuff by like your mid to late 20s. You should not be still dealing with this in your 30s. Like let's grow up.
Yep.
So another pair of people that need to grow up live in the city of New York, and this one was just too ridiculous. I had to grab it. So. Two people but they commandeered a subway train that was parked. It was off duty. They did a joyride on a subway train on the subway tracks, ending up crashing it into another parked train. So here's the story. There's two teens, suspected two teens. The girl was apprehended. The male is still at large as of this recording. The police arrested the 17-year-old girl Wednesday afternoon, so just a couple days ago, with criminal mischief and reckless endangerment. The pair boarded an unoccupied train parked at the Briarwood subway station in Queens just after midnight, and then somehow got it running. See, that's the part that confuses me. They somehow got it running. I'm like, how?
Yeah, because my understanding of the way the subways work, especially now, maybe in the 80s you could get away with something like this, but they're managed from a massive station that can just shut power to that line.
Yeah.
Like our light rail station here in Colorado, the way it works, kind of similar. Like there is a mass powered distribution going. Like you shouldn't be able to just hop into a railway train and take off in it.
Yeah. So my guess is that whoever the conductor was, they just got lax. They never ran into any issues, never saw it, and they just started cutting corners, and then...
It was after midnight.
It was after... And you know what? I've been saying this for a couple years now. Nothing good happens after midnight.
Not really.
It's the dark art mischief hour. Like,
when does it become good again?
Like...
4 a.m.?
I don't know. Like, that's cutting it close, like 5:30 or 6.
I feel like 4 is like when the world... America starts waking up to start the day.
Yeah, like... 4 is pretty early.
If you got a 6 a.m. start time...
Yeah. 4 o'clock
with a commute...
Yeah. And maybe if you're really running late, then you can commandeer a subway and make your way there. No, but this one...
And then they crash it into this fucking thing.
It's too ridiculous not to put in here. I mean, just probably some kids having a fun time, but
No injuries.
it's so ridiculous grabbing a whole subway cart and driving it on. Like, I had to put it in. One person's still at large.
They'll get them.
You know how it goes.
It's hard to get away with this shit anymore. But my question is, so they're probably going to be charged with reckless behavior.
Reckless endangerment and criminal mischief.
And then I would also think like some sort of Grand Theft Auto charge or
Is it an auto?
It's not an auto, though.
Like, they can't take it anywhere off the tracks.
That's true.
So, like, I don't know.
Operating, stealing machinery. Like, if you stole someone's tractor off their farm, like, it's got to fall under something.
I don't know what it falls under.
I don't know.
Because it stays on the tracks.
It does stay on the track. But they're operating it unlawfully and without permission.
My guess is that they, like, were trying to get somewhere. The subway was closed. They, like, just thought maybe it was still, they got on there, and then they were, like, just looking around, and then looked around too much and somehow got it started. Because, like, maybe a key was left in it or something.
They were probably fucking with it. They're like, oh, look, it turned on.
Oops.
Let me push this lever.
And then they were like, oops.
And then they were just along for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my guess. It probably wasn't super intentional, but still ridiculous enough to have on this episode. Happy Friday.
I'm glad it made it on the show. Crazy article. Definitely scroll down and view more. All right, we're going to wrap it up with some lunar news. I've been finding these fun things about outer space. This one's interesting. Once again, click this link so you can see the picture of it. So there's a striped rock, almost a zebra pattern, that they found on Mars. And the reason that this rock seems so interesting, it was discovered on September 13th, so about 2 weeks ago, is because the patterns of this rock are basically suggesting that it came from some sort of volcanic either eruption or history of volcanic activity would be the only reason to have a rock with that type of pattern on it. So, these guys that found it are pretty excited because it's, it could lead and suggest that there is more volcanic rock and activity on Mars. Mm-hmm. So the more shit that they find, we figured out a couple weeks ago that there was enough water to fill an ocean. They got volcanic activity happening. They're really starting to hone in on what's going on Mars. It's pretty exciting.
I think that there is still an active inner core and molten layers to Mars, but the crust is just so thick, and because of water evaporating, I don't know. Do you think water plays a role in tectonic plates?
I would think it has to in some form.
Because it weighs down on stuff and like kind of moves
Water's
around. Water's
very heavy.
Bit.
Yeah.
So
I would think it does.
The thing that always makes me kind of gets interested is like we're just in this blip of time right now. It's like the human lifespan is really not that big in the blip of time that we recorded apparently, and so it's like what is real. I almost think Israel is an awesome rapper in Denver, but what is real in life I don't even know because it all seems like satire to me, and like there could have been aliens, maybe we're type of like. Either way, I think that there's some things to learn about Mars, but then there also might be stuff that they don't want us to know about Mars.
Probably. I mean, if there's going to be, and that's a good point.
I think all conspiracies. I haven't even looked into Mars conspiracies.
No, I haven't either. The conspiracies are very time consuming, and once I go in that rabbit hole, it's hard to get out of. Not that I necessarily believe what I'm reading. It's just very interesting.
Good story.
Just like this. So they end up naming this rock the Freya Castle is the nickname that they gave it.
Okay.
Resembling something along those lines. But pretty cool nonetheless that they were able to find this and start putting the pieces together of all this shit that they have found on Mars over the years of our lifetime. I feel like they've really, really kind of innovated on the Mars exploration in our lifetime. The moon was a big one back in the 60s, 70s. Now we're doing this other space exploration and finding these different things, artifacts, if you will, on these planets. And I think it's fun.
How about the monolithic rocks that they're like finding in Russia and like these big underground like caverns that look man-made? Have you seen anything on that?
I have, and then of course we covered the random monoliths that were appearing back during.
But that's like
we know that was man-made.
Yeah, that's nothing like these mega rocks and these like mega underground caverns that supposedly exist in Russia.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, so who knows? That's part of being fun and being human is being curious.
Curiosity killed the cat.
But it's fun. It is fun being curious. That's maybe why you only experiment with stuff when you're in your late teens and early 20s and get that curiosity out of your system, like we were saying.
That is very true.
So things to do this weekend.
Yeah.
You have the Ohana festival, and that is in Dana Point, California. What is that? Something like Hawaii based?
So the Ohana Festival, I mean, I don't know the history of it exactly, but it's massive. And I know, in the 90s, it became a huge staple of California. These big, you talk about Lollapalooza, you talk about Burning Man, all these big festivals. Ohana's up there. So it's a big one. I've never personally been to it. I've heard it's a lot of fun. Any big festival like this that goes on for days, I feel like it's going to be a good time. So
all I know is I've been craving that teriyaki beef since we had that last week.
That was good.
I want it again.
That was pretty good.
I want it again.
I did enjoy that, and I also really enjoy tacos. I used to enjoy a little tequila as well, and the Tacos and Tequila Fest is going on up in Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit what?
Yep, that's this weekend. Tacos and tequila, I mean, it was just a delicious combination.
You ask anyone if they want to go get tacos, tequila, and queso, they're probably going to say yes.
Yeah.
You want to go get some tequila and some queso chips and some tacos? They're gonna be like, yeah, that sounds good. Was it Friday? Yes, it is Friday, and I'm gonna say yes to that more than likely.
Delicious.
Look, hey, you could even just go and just you don't need to get the tequila either. You could get some lemon type of mocktail or something.
It's very true. The food, everything, the drinks are going to be good.
However you want to do it, and you don't need to have substances because life is beautiful, and we have the Life is Beautiful Festival in Las Vegas, Nevada. You put this in here. What is that about? Life is Beautiful Festival. Is it like a hippie fest or
It looks like it.
Yeah.
But it just sounded like a lot of fun.
It does.
Life is beautiful in Vegas. Weather's cooling down out there. It's been 115 degrees. Great time. Get outdoors. Enjoy life. Bring your family together. Probably be some music. Probably a little bit of sidewalk activities going on.
People like selling paintings and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're cosplaying, going to a Life is Beautiful fest, what do you like? Cosplaying as like a mountain.
You could be like a gypsy, maybe.
You could be like a gypsy. You could cosplay as like a cloud.
Yeah, or maybe the sun. Maybe you could be Mars.
You could even be Mars. You could be volcanic Mars.
Yeah, you could be the Freya Castle. You could be that.
You could, and you could also be checking out the race this weekend. What we got for NASCAR?
Oh, man, it's good. The round of 12 is here for the NASCAR playoffs. We are kicking it off. Kansas City, Kansas. Match the Gas podcast will be there on Sunday for the Cup race. Really looking forward to that. Fantastic. It's crunch time. 4 drivers got cut. It's down to 12. Is Denny Hamlin going to move on? It's going to be a lot of fun. But one thing I can tell you, if you're in the Kansas City area, you've never been to a race, it's one of my personal favorite racetracks. Great area of the country. The food, the activities, the racing is fantastic. They call it the best fan experience in motorsports for a reason. So Kansas City, Kansas, here we come.
Definitely get out there if you've never been to a NASCAR race. It's being there in person, feeling the energy of these engines. It changes your whole perspective on it. Thank you so much for tuning in here. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Happy Friday USA, Twitter at Happy Fry, F-R-I, USA. Send us an email, happyfridayamerica@gmail.com. Let's bring in the weekend, fricashinas.